What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, but not exactly. If you've been keeping up my shorts, at least, I've been attempting at making shorts as well. But one of the things that I want to talk about is, man, over the past few weeks, within the month of July alone, really July, um, there's already been so many haters. And I'm not saying on my end, of course, you may see a follow and then see an unfollow on your account, for your on your channel, but just on really on anything, man. And you know, when you share it amongst people or people just find out, but really when you share it amongst people that you know, or I'll even say this: if there's anything that you're doing and it's outside of the norm for what other people consistently do, and they're not congratulating you, but instead sitting in the back, silently waiting for the fail, that's it. There's so many people consistently that I see on the internet are just showing and representing themselves as a hater. Like, even if you have a little bit of followers, or if you're, you know, taking the time to just develop yourself, like let's say you're trying to lose weight, get in shape or something, or doing things to help build your, productivity, like all these different things, right? Anything that goes into you carving a new routine or a new route, or you have your mind set on a different destination from what's separate from everybody else, so many people are going to congratulate you, but there's going to be so many people who don't congratulate you too. And I really want to say this: whatever you do that brings you satisfaction, as long as it's not harming nobody, right? But if you're truly following a pathway that is pertaining to your gift or gifts, right? Because a gift can have more than one direction on how you use it, right? But the point is, when you lock in on it, you lock in on the idea, you dial in all the way, and you're not trying to force like a real interconnected divine moment. You're not trying to force it, like you really are just going with how things are supposed to go, and what you're controlling is you. People notice that. I promise you, you have a whole different kind of effect. Or when you walk into a room, people just notice the change that you present, because you're doing something that doesn't feel regular. So people may feel that they need to have their guard up, they need to defriend you, they may need to try to humble you in a way, because, not to sound conceited, but at the same time, like, yo, I'm aware I'm a good looking dude. I'm not, but I don't wear it though. I don't. That's not the thing that I'm not braggadocious. I'm never just, oh, let me just talk about surface level things pertaining to myself. I don't do that. And I think in a time of social media, where there's all these different things that are forcing people to change what they should be focusing on instead of their own personal growth, and then unity growth. Once you find yourself, trying to also develop that kind of system, or find yourself in a system like that, but so many people are not there, because it's like their minds have just been dialed into what the media wants them to focus on. Like, it's so crazy. I went to the gym the other day, probably like 2 days ago, and I'm not saying, like, bro, like, I mean, probably the position, I don't know. I'm not I see myself every day, so I'm not really seeing what other people are seeing. But what's sad is that there's a dude that works there at the gym that I go to, and he actually works there. And what's crazy is that anytime I walk in, I work out around the time that I guess he works, right? Bro always have a real stank face about dude, bro. And I'm just like, man, bro, like what's good with G? You know what I mean? And at the same time, man, it's like I remember when I came in with like a hoodie. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to show myself off. I'm not doing that. Like what I do from what other people do is totally different. You know what I mean? I'm mainly focused on calisthenics and stuff like that. And like if I do some like weights or heavy weights, it's mainly just for legs and stuff like that. You know, like for the lower half and then, you know, the lower back and stuff. Cause I'm tall, you know, I'm 6'4". But the thing about it is like bro, like you don't even need to try, bro. That we're in an area where you don't even have to try. People will just literally watch you from across the room and automatically make assumptions. And that's why I really encourage people to like don't really be the loudest, you know, rambunctious one in the room. Like be the person that's just like, you know what? And especially, you know, like if you're the kind of person who stands out, like I'll be real with you, it's hard for me not to stand out when I'm walking into the room because I mean, for one, I'm already tall. Like I'm really, you know, looking over people's scalps. So, you know what I'm saying? And it's like at the end of the day, it is what it is. So, you know, it's just one of those things that you just can't really afford to lose. Continue to remain in the mundane and mysterious. Like, and I'm not trying to come off as poetic, but that's what I've been realizing what has been helping me consistently when dealing with people who I don't know from people who I do know. And, you know, it's like, I would definitely say this. It tends to be people who are closer to you. And you really, you know, who you consider closer, meaning like, okay, you know, they're just not your peers, right? Like people that you know at work. But like them, and then two, a full complete stranger, right? But the thing about it is that people are so judgmental at a time where it's like, again, and I really want to hint at the fact that it's probably due to short form content. So if they're being shown a consistent image about somebody or something, they're automatically gonna grow, like their subconscious mind is automatically going to grow to conform to that. And like, man, son, it's like I can't even say in the past, like even for like what go about dating and stuff like that, how many shorties would sit there and think that I'm some kind of like playboy or something, like, or what do you call them, like F boys, you know. One second. And honestly, I don't even give a crap about that. It's gotten so crazy that I don't even choose to even focus on that. And that's what I mean. Like, this topic here was even discussed. I mean, not even discussed, but was inspired by. And I know I'm kind of late to it, but it is what it is. I'm not trying to do things, you know, around the time where everybody else, you know, who's like attention has already been. Because yo, I'll say this: I was dropping shorts and realizing the views was getting a little low, meaning because the World Cup is on. So since the World Cup is now done, you know what I'm saying, Spain won. You know, we back to regular conditions. So, you know what I'm saying, come get this work. Pause. So the idea is this topic was inspired by this Lupe Fiasco and, you know, other content creators on YouTube, but like from like the battle rap scene. And I actually have a separate channel that is going to be going more over like the arts and stuff like that, you know, including music and everything else. But this is, you know, this is the raw talk. So I'm just like at least sharing some brainstorms or at least thoughts that I've already thought about, just to give you guys, you know, more of a, you know, closer reach, you know, or closer experience to what I'm thinking, or at least about my opinion, right? But the point is that You know, like Lupe, he's like my number one rapper. I don't care, even to this day. Like, we're talking about like living people to this day. Like, and I just feel like this. I appreciate the things that he's done so far and up to now. And a lot of people don't want to give bro grace because, and giving his flowers, is because he really did inspire a lot of people's, you know, current number ones. You know what I'm saying? He's your rapper's favorite rapper. I will hands down say that. And that's the thing. When you're so, and I really do stand by what he says. You know, like, if I really felt like as though if his career could have held out a little bit longer, and then got the same level of, you know, notoriety, or had the same kind of like groups or whatever, like very similar to like all things that he already pretty much admitted to, like other previous interviews. If he had the support, like a group, whatever, had comrades who were also there to rap too, so bringing his best game, like all these different things. Like, I remember, like, bro, when I was in like elementary school, you know what I mean? And I'm a Gen Z too. So the thing about it is, like, we're just in an era where I feel like, yo, my generation, bro, they don't want to give people their flowers. They want to give all these random people flowers. And I get it, but at the same time, it's like, if you do give an OG flower, bro, give the OG flowers, bro. And this goes to you. Like we're technically, the thing I like about Lupe is this, bro. If you believe in yourself, if you know your self-worth, bro, and you know the work that you can put out, and you know the things, you know that you're so disciplined that you're willing to put in the extra time to see yourself fulfill that thing, and you're doing what you're supposed to do, who else can actually sit here and be like, you know what, you got to stop whatever you're doing and, you know, being humble, or especially if you've been carving out pathways for people and helping them know, like, you know, this is what you can do with what you're with whatever you have at your disposal, or you know, this is a new way for you to think. You know, don't think so typical, you know, think in a way that's like outside the box, in and outside the box. Like, have the idea that's outside the box, but whatever is in the box, figure out ways that you can connect that. And that's so raw, man, because it's like, where else and who else are you really going to get, I mean, really, in this time of era, like, real genuine advice and seeing people, like real genuine career advice, industry advice, and out and independent advice, and also too, like, you know, the whole thing with 38 Special as well, like this, all these things that's DIY. Like, we're in a position now, bro, it is a must for you to have that type of perspective or attention to detail when it comes to your body of work and appreciation for your body of work. It's too consistent now. So many people are now just becoming goated when they haven't really done anything, and if they have done something, it's something that's just like catering to the negativity. So it's like what are you really getting, man? You just getting like a full bowl of BS and telling you, yo, this is the way. Like, that's not the way. Like, we're not here to, you know, replicate somebody. You know what I'm saying? The way to really pay homage to somebody who inspired you is by you doing it in your own way, right? You can be inspired, yes. No one's saying that you can't be inspired, but what's effective is you being the person to be the next trigger for somebody else's inspiration. You know what I mean? So that they can fully go into their exploration to whom they are, and have them present that as that, and not them trying to be you and you trying to be the person who ever inspired you, and that person who inspired you trying to be the person who inspired them. That's not the point now. That's not the point. And all I gotta say is it's like, man, the biggest lesson that I really got from Lupe is people are gonna like you and people are gonna dislike you. At this point, it doesn't even matter. When you've already put in the work, there's no need to show. There's no really need to talk about it. But there are times that you do have to kind of come back and, you know, and let people know like what is up. Like, yo, like, especially if you haven't stopped. And that's the thing about Lupe. Lupe never stops. So, and that's the thing too, really calling off like the real ageism thing, because half of y'all like shit, Drake and Kendrick and all them dudes in like they late 30s, bro. So it's like at the end of the day, like he just hit, like bro was just now in his 40s, bro. So I'm like, I'm not really getting this. So the point is, what I'm saying is like, bro, and then you guys listen to French Montana, 2 Chainz, like what the heck, 38 Special. I fuck with 38 Special because that's my G. But my thing is this, bro. We are all still students in crafts, like a craftsman or craftswoman, bro. And the biggest student that you have to be is yourself. Whatever you don't know, whatever you think you're not good at, work on those things that you're not good at. Whatever your strengths are, continue improving those things. You know what I mean? Like, but you need, like, it's like, yo, once you really know yourself, and I'll say this, once you know I'll say that once you know yourself and you understand the frequency, you understand like, okay, cool, what it takes and everything else, so that you can remain that and continue that, because there's a lot of shedding skin that you have to do. And a lot of people that I'm seeing on social media, bro, they're afraid to really explore themselves. They're afraid to really explore the topics that they're interested in. They're really afraid to be them. And that's what this channel for sure is really there for, like pulling away from the common, and the common is what's mundane. Now it's time for you, with how social media is set up, is for you to go ahead and fully explore what your thoughts are, what you like. And I'll even say this too, man, just because you have a channel, just because you have a mic, just because you have a camera, just because you have the gear, period, doesn't mean that every thought needs to be shared. It doesn't. Because how you ever start off, if you start off in a way and you just spreading gossip or whatever it is, or you're kind of like part of that gossip niche, bro, you have to continue that. And I'll be real with you, I don't want to be on no gossip thing, because it's like, my life is too interesting for me to pay attention to other people 24/7. Like, and I feel like there's a point where we need to kind of get back to that, because it's like, a part of me is like, damn, like, to really grow on social media, the idea or the story sold that you have to really, share more or come out of your comfort zone, in order to, like, garner attention and all these different things. And I get it. People want to connect to other people who they feel connected to, but at the same time, having that bit of knowledge and knowing that when you go out, you're always going to represent yourself. Don't tell everything about yourself. Be the person who comes into the room, especially too, like, you really get a hang of this once you've been self-disciplined, and you've been disciplining yourself in the terms of, locking in on what the focus is, and locking in on what truly is going to bring you ultimate satisfaction. Believe me when I tell you, it's not you copying somebody else. It's you being your true, authentic self. That's what's going to bring you ultimate satisfaction, that you don't have to worry about fitting into this and fitting into that just to be whom you need to be, because it's not about other people's thoughts. It's really about your thoughts, your actions, and your feelings. And at the end of the day, when it's your time for you to go and rise to the next dimension, can you be truly satisfied with what you've done and left, the legacy? Even if you haven't had any kids, like, legacy just really means what you've done to leave a stain. Again, you being yourself so well that it triggers a spark of inspiration in somebody else to do the exact same thing. Them, instead of them chasing you, they chasing themselves by them being themselves. That's it. For sure. But y'all made it this far. I appreciate y'all. Man, wear your gifts as you wear your charms and your jewels. You've earned it, right? You accumulated. You did what you did, man. Do your thing, man. At the end of the day, and don't have anybody else trying to tell you how you need to be. Like at the end of the day, yo, I'm glad where I'm at right now. The channel is growing. It's gaining views. Um, Everything is just being done right, and I'm focusing and I'm dialing. At this point, who cares? If you've been rocking this long, do what you need to do. You've been rocking with me. We've been on the same pathway, son. This month here is almost over. We have until next week. All I have to say is that, yo, start putting out your YouTube channel, start putting out your shorts. Do what interests you. If you have a video, a video in mind to create for, like, you know, a product or something, or some other personal experience or journey, bro, share that. Right now, you're hearing this beat on loop. You know what I'm saying? Something that's being worked on. All I gotta say is that you're gonna hear it soon, but for sure, appreciate you guys. Right here, that's my baby. That's my baby. So yeah, and then that right there too. Hold on, that right there. Yeah, both of them. Both of them. Oh, hold on. Both of them. Oh. Okay, never mind. Both of these. There we go. There we go. So yeah, y'all stay tuned. Appreciate y'all. One. Oh, like, share, subscribe, all that cool stuff.